Good afternoon to all of you, and a warm welcome to the session organized by the Committee on Promoting the Work-Life Balance, a session on the topic of elevating analytical acumen, the practical pathway for the chartered accountants. Right, so the Committee on Promoting the Work-Life Balance is a committee which has been headed by CA Jay Chhera sir, Vice Chairman CA Sridhar Mapalla, and Secretary to the committee CA Priyam Vadagirkar. Right, so the main aim of this particular committee, which has been constituted in the year 25-26, is to look into the personal well-being, to look into the mental health, and also have a work-life balance for the chartered accountants. Okay, right. I also take this opportunity to introduce our Central Council member, CA Sridhar Mupalla sir, who is a very favorite amongst the student and also the teacher fraternity. He is a Central Council member and currently serving his second term as the Central Council member, right? And also he's the chairman of the Research Committee, the convener of the Digital Reengineering and Transformation Directorate, vice chairman of the Committee on Promoting Work-Life Balance, deputy convener of the Specific Fund Management Directorate of ICAI. And apart from that, he is also a part of several non-standing committees of the ICAI. He has also received several awards like the Leadership Award, the Times Education Icon Award, also All India ranker at the CA intermediate level, and also a ranker in the 12th standard examination. He also is deeply committed towards social responsibility and actively participating in the various community initiatives, also associated with several charitable organizations for societal betterment. Right, so looking forward to listening to a few words of wisdom from Sridhar sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Aarti ma'am. A very good afternoon to one and all, and our speaker for the day, Savitri Devi, and all the Secretariat of Work-Life Balance Committee. Indeed, it's pleasure to meet both of you and seeing the participation the way it is going on, ma'am. Let me share few insights. And first and foremost, there is a lot of change in the thought process of a chartered accountant. From the days where we used to think a basic chair and a traditional office, more towards a work approach. The recent last 5 years, my experience of the young chartered accountant, work-life balance, they have a lot of focus. They're fully focused not only on the career, but also on their analytical part, social, and also the balancing of their fitness, everything. See, that is the best part what I could see in the chartered accountant. Now, especially coming to today's topic, analytical, developing analytical acumen and practical pathways for a chartered accountant. Sure, the way the world is changing today, it is no more a test function what a chartered accountant is doing. A chartered accountant has emerged as a complete business solution provider. So, in such part of activities today, at a verge of globalization, and the way India is playing its role, because the best part is we are under the Amrutkal period. The opportunities, if we ask for any chartered accountant to qualify 20 years back, he'll simply say what it took 30 years for us, it can be done in 2 3 years for the current chartered accountant. So in such a great way, what exactly is required? Because the time of 24 hours is same, it's all about the analytical way. So therefore, it's a need of the hour for any chartered accountant that we need to have such analytical approach. I always say taking a decision is the last 2%, but developing the skill towards that, analyzing the best possible option, assessing the current situation, this what plays a 95% role. So I'm sure the current day, the young generation, chartered accountant especially, are trained towards it. And with our learned speaker today, Savitri Devi ma'am, I'm sure we are going to have the best of the learning. So I wish you a happy learning to all the participants. And thanks for imposing the confidence on the Work-Life Balance Committee, because this is the first year when we started, we don't know from where to start. But after we started the webinar and seeing the response, it thrilled. In fact, we want to do much more in the coming years where we are preparing the pathway for it. It's all about your encouragement that has made it. Thank you, ma'am, for taking out your time, and over to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of insight and a good start to the session. I would also like to bring the attention to the Fit CA moment, which has been conducted under the Committee on Promoting the Work-Life Balance, right? So this committee organizes the daily virtual yoga session from Monday to Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. by renowned yoga instructors. And also there is a virtual Zumba session on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., again conducted by a certified Zumba instructor, right? So that is something also what I wanted to bring to the attention. And now coming to the introduction of our speaker for today, Dr. Savitri Devi Yeram Setti, right? Ma'am, who has completed her B.Ed, her MSc Computers, MSc Psychology, PhD she is pursuing, plus already having an honorary doctorate in psychology. She is TESOL certified and also CT80 qualified. Ma'am, that's a huge list of qualifications over there. And she has been a passionate educationist with over 20 years of progressive experience in computer science, psychology, and the educational leadership. Right? Her focus areas are into academic administration, curriculum design and implementation, training, mentoring, and faculty development, career psychological counseling. Right? Currently, she is the principal and branch operation head at the Avinash College of Commerce at Hyderabad, right, since July 2020. Also a guest faculty at the NIFT, content developer for psychology for the ICAI, language consultant for What Three Words, subject matter expert for Next Education Private Limited, an academy verified educator from July 2017 to February 20, and also has been the principal of Rachnotsav College, principal at Ravindra Bharati College, and so the list goes on and on. But see, it's also done a lot, presented the research papers on various topics, have completed her certifications and qualification. And her philosophy for education is that education must ignite minds and awaken the purpose. She believes in the transformative learning. And when I read all about this about ma'am, my sure understanding was that, it's the best combination of the academics and the leadership and the counseling, all of it coming together, creating a very wonderful, what do you say, combination which could be of benefit to the CA members and to the entire fraternity. Right. So with that, ma'am, I introduce you for I welcome you to our discussion for the topic for today, which is elevating the analytical acumen. So like going from the information to the insights, right? So wherein I think elevating analytical acumen is like converting your blunt pencil into a sharp pencil so that you can see the clear picture, you can jot down, you can join the dots and all together. So over to you, ma'am. I'm really excited to listen to your session today.
Thank you so much, Aarti ma'am. First, let me share my screen.
Sure.
Hope this is visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Firstly, let me thank the ICAI team and the work-life balance team for giving me an opportunity to, come up with a webinar today and share my experiences and my thought process with all of you and helping you out. I would sincerely appreciate the entire team for coming out with such a wonderful initiative. My special greetings to respected Chairman Sir, Work-Life Balance CA Jay Sir, Vice Chairman CA Sridhar Nupala Sir, CA Aarti Ma'am and Priyambada Ma'am. And I would also like to mention the name of Jay Narayan Sir from BOS. He has been instrumental in getting me into this picture today, that I've got an opportunity to share my knowledge with all the CAs across pan India. That's definitely a privilege. I would like to especially place it on record on this aspect. And yeah, coming to today's topics, what is that we are going to cover? I've made it more colorful for the CAs, because most of this time when I see CAs, I have lots of friends. CA fraternity, my own boss, where I'm working as a principal in one of the colleges. He himself is a CA. I have very good friends, CAs, and my colleagues are CAs, my students are CAs. So I work for a commerce and management college. So I do interact with a lot of them. So I could actually get into your shoes for a while to understand what kind of challenges you have. And that's when I decided that I can come out with something more creative and more colorful. It's not as professional PPT as you would expect in your regular uh, presentations. I wanted it to be a little more colorful today. So here it is. So today, when it comes to the topic, we are going to cover these five key concepts: the challenge for chartered accountants, how analytical acumen strengthens resilience, stress, psychological balance in practice, and my favorite of all is practical pathways for CAs and long-term impact. When it comes to practical pathways for CAs, this is where you all have to really pay attention to, is what I would definitely say. And yeah, I have a question for all of you. What is that something you face daily but rarely audit? Any guesses? That we face daily but rarely audit. Let me tell you, it's our mind. And today, as you know, we have ICAI. There is also ICA. Uh, for agricultural committee also there is something called. Let's today I've decided that we'll go with a kind of meet with the CA farmers. Don't take me wrong. So here is my window where you can see that that's me here and it's you. Okay, we have agri meet for CA farmers. That's what I thought of today. So I would like to take a metaphor today in explaining you the concept in a very simplified manner. So what does the agri meet when do in generally agricultural farming and all? What do they do? The farmers are trained how to take care of their field, right? So today I am here as a psychologist to give you simple tips. You already know, you're already doing your farming as CAs, you're in the world, in your financial sector, you're doing everything. But maybe at times there are few tips and suggestions that might help you, or it might act as a reminder to each one of you to make things better, to ensure that your field, the harvest is awesome, better than ever before. So today I'm going to share a handful of seeds. It could be anything. A handful of seeds that I wish to share with each one of you, where these seeds I want you to, I'll be sowing the seed today. I want you to nurture it and take care of it, water it, and over a period of time, I want it to blossom and then emerge into a very big tree, and with it also bears fruits. The thing here is today, all of you who have taken out time to join the session, I have special appreciation for all of you. But if this after this 2 hours of session, if you do not carry the seed in your brain and do not nurture it, there is no point of attending the session, and wasting your time for the next 2 hours. So the hours that you're spending, these 2 hours, should be extremely productive for you and life changing. That's what I aim for you. So here we are. So if you see, every seed that today we are going to share is something where I want all of you to reflect on. So generally, why did this session come up? Why? Because we understand, if you see the statistics and all, we understand that there is definitely stress in CA's life. And what are those stress triggers? Yes, I know that you have deadlines, right? Compliances, client pressures, and uncertainty. Every time you have deadlines, especially when it's the season, I understand that your clients reach out to you late nights, 11:30. Then they respond on the last date, September 15th, I believe. Recently you had your deadline dates, right? Around that time, same time, all the 10 clients or whatever clients you are there, they reach out to you in the last moment. It is definitely a pressure that you go through, right? And the deadlines that stresses you. So here we are to help you, lessen your stress. And why are we insisting on the word called stress? You know, uh, as for the long term stress, when we have stress over a long term, it leads to burnout. And stress can interfere with your cognition, that is your thinking aspect, your attention towards things, and memory as well. It also promotes inflammation. That means, with lots of stress, that leads to gut issues also, health issues, which affects your heart as well. So we need to work on our stress. And as World Health Organization, if you see, it calls stress the health epidemic of the 21st century. You understand? It is a kind of epidemic. So this is nobody is spared nowadays when it comes to stress. Let's reflect on one thing. Let's see Sri Kumar Mangalam Birla sir. All of you are aware of him. He's the chairman of Aditya Birla Group CA, and even he, in his one of his interviews, said that my work-life balance is completely messed up. He says that success plus imbalance often coexist. He's absolutely right. But you can see nobody in this world is spared out of stress. So how we are not spared, but can we handle it with a smile, with a cheerful smile, a joyful, and the CA be a happy CA, joyful CA? Yeah. So let's look into it. So before we get into the topic, there are three concepts which I'd just like to give you an introduction. Those who are new to this terminology, yeah, I'm sure none of you are very much new, but still I would like to explain the three basic concepts here. What is it? And then we'll move forward, because I'll be repeating these words very frequently in our, psychology and all. These are very generic terms that we commonly use. So, what is it? When we are talking in the title, also you have something called emotional resilience, right? What is resilience? It is the ability to adapt to maintain a well being in the face of stress. So, are you able to cope up with your challenges? Are you able to deal with your setbacks? This you'll have. If you are able to do, then you can say that your emotional resilience is really good. See, the thing is, we, in spite of being resilient, at times we just give up. There is definitely emotional or a physical discomfort we might experience. So that is when this emotional resilience is very much needed. And next comes psychological balance. What is it? Yes. What is psychological balance? Balancing, maintaining stability between your thoughts, your emotions, and your behavior, so that you can function effectively. You can handle stress, adapt to challenges without losing your sense of well-being. So, this is very much needed for each one of us, irrespective. I think anyone who is in the is a working professional needs this. And why it matters for CA? Why are we today talking about it? Because just like your balance sheet, stability, shows stability between assets and liabilities. Psychological balance is also very much needed for your mental resources. For example, you need to be focused, you need to be calm, resilient. It should match your liabilities as well, the stress, fatigue, and conflict. So that is the reason why you should know what is psychological balance. And last but not the least, stress and versus burnout. Stress is something, yeah, you all know what the stress is. We, few panic moments, it causes emotional reactivity, not to the greater extent, but burnout is chronic. It is, over a period of time when you're extremely exhausted with your work, it becomes a burnout. Kind of disconnection takes place emotionally, they get disturbed, you know blunt emotions are into it. It might lead to depression as well. Nowadays, if you see the statistics, the challenge for chartered accountants, let's see once एक बार देखेंगे कि क्या challenges है, what is the CA facing in the current world, what kind of statistics. Yes, as CAs you have high stakes, deadlines, audits, and compliance pressures. And yeah, constant decision making under uncertainty, that's a common thing for all of you. And at times, definitely that creates mental fatigue and emotional turbulence. Don't you all agree with me? Yes. And without balance, this may lead to, yes, burnout, irritability. Definitely, I think your family would say more about you, because when you have all these challenges at place, how do you respond to your family members? How do you respond to your colleagues? All that says a lot. So let me just share a few key statistics in India. Later we'll move on. Very quickly, I would like to share. Uh, Today we are working on, today we are discussing about CAs, but I would like to give you basic statistics of all the professions, the key professions which are highlighted. This one is the healthcare industry, where the doctors, they're highly prone to this emotional fatigue, mental fatigue, almost 80% plus, because they have long hours of working, patient overload, sudden challenges that they have, sudden operation, all sudden uh, unexpected unexpected scenarios come into their picture. And coming to IT, they are also under very high, burnout in many surveys. If we go through, they've got long working hours, the expectations are very high, their availability is almost like 24 by 7 if you see, and they've got heavy workloads. Even they, and let me share, coming to the accountants, it is quite moderate when compared to doctors and IT sector people. But still, in your season, yeah, you people also get into that 90, statistics say that 90% is also the rate of stress levels that they're going through. Moderate to high for some aspect, depends upon the season as well here. Let's go with a quick reality check with data. ICI survey of 2023 says that 60%, 67% of young CAs reported the stress related health issues. In fact, I have to share that I tried checking with 2024 survey or 25. I couldn't get that, but this is what I could understand. And coming to the big four attrition rates in India, it has crossed 20% in 2022, largely due to burnout. And as you understood, burnout is something, it is the end of their stress, and it's much beyond. And coming to Deloitte 2023 survey, 77% of professionals face burnout, especially in audit and compliance heavy roles. All the CA firms that you see, I think all the big four attrition rates, you can find it here. And I've also worked on this global well-being report overall in the world, what is happening to people. So 56% of accountants, you have all, not only CAs and all, but they're experiencing stress and burnout when compared to 41% of employees across various sectors. And 80% have acknowledged the stress, and 48 feared being treated differently if they disclose their mental health struggles. So they are people who are having struggles where they are not even willing to share with any of them. And I think ICI here in India has, come out with this wonderful initiative of work-life balance, that you are open to things, to understand and trying to give them a support. That's a wonderful thing. Uh, Next comes, 42% were concerned about the career progression and affected by mental health disclosure. Many of the CAs, if you see, recently I think we have heard that one of the CA, very young man, has lost his life too, recently. It's not only with CAs, even in the sector where the healthcare industry also, there's alarming death rates of people losing their lives very at a very young age of 35, 38, 39, and all. So this is something where we all need to work on. How much stress is it acceptable? How much is not acceptable is what we all need to understand. Coming to some more survey, that is University of Georgia, which I have gone through. It was so alarming to see 99% of accountants reporting a level of burnout. That is something where we all have to, work on. Let's not get into that zone. And 93% have experienced exhaustion. So these are the figures. If you see the mental health concerns of, that means survey done in 2024. So day by day, things are growing, uh, not in a greater happy note, but something where we need to work on. And coming to a study by advanced track of CABA, the 56% of accountants suffer from stress and burnouts. Workload, long hours, complexity, and all these things are there. So these are one of the main, because they are highly loaded with lots of work. this is happens. Now that we understand that stress uh, landscape, we have seen how stressful the CAs are, what's going in their brain, lots of things in their brain. Let's explore how your very own analytical skills, the one you use for numbers, can help you manage this stress. Okay, so you are all extremely good as CAs. You're a brand of your own self. You don't need any doctorates beside your name, to prove your mettle. So you're already good and analyzers and all. But sometimes what happens is, we don't analyze our own lives. So here is a picture for all of you. I want you to reflect on. See, when I would like to ask you something. Imagine yourself that you're heading to a very dense forest. How would you go to the forest? Would you just walk into the forest like that, or will you have a map and a compass with you? Yes, definitely. Each one of us will just not get into the dense forest, right? Just like that, we'll definitely want some kind of guidance. So when you see, we need a map, we need all these things are very much important. So analytical acumen is like that map. It helps chartered accountants navigate stressful situations without panic. And today we are going to discuss on this analytical acumen for your life. It is not with your numbers, audits, and all that. Okay. And now, uh, hello. Is it visible? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Thank you. Coming to the second point of the day, how analytical acumen strengthens resilient stress. So, when you're talking about emotional balance, when faced with pressure, strong analytical skill helps separate facts from assumptions and reduce panic driven reactions. Let me tell you, uh, when at times, when we are under deep pressure, we tend to forget few things, and we are into the assumption zone. We presume something, we assume something, and that leads to a lot of panic. You just imagine in your own life, didn't such things happen? There are times where you have taken all the stress to yourself, but that was not much needed at that point of time. If you had a cool mind, maybe things could have been much better. Let's go with the scenario analysis. Instead of fearing the worst, CAs can use the structured analysis to anticipate the possible outcomes and prepare calmly. I'll share a lot of interesting facts for all of you. I'm eagerly waiting to share those things with you. What are the tips and all? Here, you can, for your resilience, these are something where you can work on. How analytical acumen strengthens the resilient stress. So you need competence, contribution, what is the character, the connection, the coping, confidence, and control. Let's see. My goal here today is to show you how this analytical skills can reduce your panic and mental fatigue. I understand totally that CAs, be it in whatever, be it in big firms, big four firms, or you're practicing CA, or you're into teaching, each one of us are going through this panic mode or mental fatigue at one point or the other. That's what I've observed. And most importantly, we need to practice the seven C's every day. But the thing is, you can take it anyway. You need to have a control on your actions, take responsibility of things, and handle situations successfully. How does the competence come over a period of time when you're, uh, present, and you believe in yourself, and you handle situations very successfully when you keep on telling yourself that you need not get into a panic state, and you're more I would rather use the word mindful. Being mindful is very important. So that way, once you're mindful, you can handle situations more successfully. And you need to believe in yourself, build secure ties with each other, the connection that you're building, the rapport that you're building with your clients, with your family members, everything matters a lot. Doesn't say that, most of the time what happens, the connection that we build, we try to be, especially CAs, you have lots of clients, you have lots of pressures, there are limitations, cutoffs, and you feel that uh, you know uh, you have your boundaries set. You need to understand that boundaries, standard boundaries, will not work for every client. Okay. And standard template kind of thing will not work with every client. Every person is different, every person's psychology is different. So if you want to retain your clients, if you really want your uh, things good at your work front with your colleagues as well, then all these things you need to work on a one-to-one basis and not a generalized format. So identify between what is right and wrong character. This is also very important. You should have the ability to identify what is right and what is wrong as well, and make a positive impact contribution. This is equally important. Let's see psychological insight and engagement. When we combine this analytical clarity with mental awareness, the clarity that you have with your awareness, something really powerful happens. What happens? Yeah, when you have clarity about what you're doing, what kind of work you're doing, and you're aware of it. Take an example for your own self. See, uh, take example in your own world. You would, if you have clarity on something and awareness, don't you think you were able to deal with the situation in a better way? Such situations could have arisen in your life, right? Here you were able to manage your stress, emotions, and still stay sharp. So today let's go with an activity. I want each participant here to think of a recent stressful scenario and jot down what facts were true and what assumptions were made. One analytical step they could have used to reduce stress. I'll give you time here. See, this session, I want all of you to reflect on few things. The session is for you. I want each one of you to this 1.5 hour or so take time, sit back, and reflect on what I'm saying. You don't need to. There's no great learning here, I would say, but the seed that is being sowed, if well watered, well nurtured, definitely after this 1.5 hour session or 2 hour session, you will carry the best seeds for life. So I want each one of you to participate. Whether on this webinar, I'm unable to see all of you. You're not visible to me, but I am visible to all of you, right? So I want each one of you to just sit back, relax, and take a scenario. And just recently, you could have gone through some stressful scenario, right? Just jot down or reflect on it. What facts were true? What assumptions you made in that scenario? And what do you think if you had made this step? That would have reduced your stress. You are the better judge, your life, your experiences. I think I want only you to reflect on this. Are you all able to, reflect on your stressful scenario? Yes? Yeah. Let's see. So I want you to reflect on all these things. So once you start having the fact-based reasoning, the scenario analysis, if you're able to understand a situation, what is the situation, what are the facts, what could be the reasoning for all those things for the situation to happen, analyze the scenario in that environment, and frame the problem, and delegate and divide the work, I'm sure each one of you will not have the same kind of pressure that you had earlier to meet your deadlines, and you might reduce your stress levels as well. Let's go in detail. Fact based reasoning. When a pressure mounts, separating facts from assumption, That's when, at times, for example, we are in a state, especially the young CAs who are into, things, they might feel that if they commit a mistake, they'll get sued, or, they're in a panic mode. Rather than that, I think, for example, instead of thinking the client will kill me or sue me or this and that, analyze fact, you might think that instead of fearing that worst, you might say that let me see what best can be done, right? Analyze the facts, deadlines, what are the actual errors, and if you work on all those things, you will not be in this panic state. Instead of fearing the worst, structured analysis allows you to anticipate the outcomes. For instance, planning audit scenarios, you can plan something like best case, base case, and worst case. Okay, ensuring the preparedness without panic. And if you go with problem framing, you might be having lots of problems, right? If the big problem, if you can break it into smaller and smaller tasks, solvable parts. For example, I'll speak your language only. A client with GST reconciliation may seem overwhelming, right? If you break it into filing, verification, adjustments, and reporting steps, I think you'll be able to sail through the uh, problem in a better way. And yes, definitely delegation is important when you are in a big team, or dividing the work. I'm sure each one of you were working with each with your supporting staff, and and the colleagues and all. You need to understand very clearly what work are you going to do, what work are you going to delegate. Divide your work. During a tax filing deadline, CVA has to divide the work, the client data, internal validation, adjustment, and submission, right? So delegating minor tasks to assistants will give you, you know, you'll be in a better position. You can reach your deadlines. Your stress will be a little reduced. See, all this you might be telling, why are you telling all this? Don't we know all that? Maybe most of you CAs might be thinking the same thing. Why are you telling all this to us? We know all this. Yes, but still, you need someone to share. You need someone to tell you something so that you reflect. Okay. Here, analytical thinking, all of you are doing with your numbers. You have already proved yourself as great CAs. Your qualified CA exam itself is one of the toughest exams, we all know. You have already proved your mettle. You have already done. But from now, but life is a journey where we need to, enhance our skills, keep upgrading, and always keep proving to the world that we are the best. And we also have to prove to ourselves that we are good and great, right? So for this, we need to just not always think about numbers, money, this and that. We need also need to analyze and our thinking patterns, reduce our emotional reactivity to things. At times, your mind seeks tasks as solvable problems rather than unsolvable crises. At times, we with being overwhelmed with work, we stop thinking in the right direction. So this is very important, that psychological balance needs to be practiced, and emotional balance between heart and brain. These two are very important. At times, you do get opportunities where you'll have to listen to being more practical, trying to help the client in an unethical way. But is it right or not? Your emotional balance will give you the right direction. Your heart and brain should be in balance. So this is very important when we are talking about this psychological yeah when psychological balance. I was telling you earlier also. See, it's a state of maintaining the stability between your thoughts. What is the thought you're having, what is the emotion you're carrying, and what is the behavior you're exhibiting. All these have to be in sync. Okay. So the goal here is to teach you how analysis plus emotional regulation gives you creative stability. See, we'll have to look at mind emotional balance. When I'm saying mind emotional balance, analytical framework, the analytical framework that we have, it gives clarity. while emotional regulation techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, reframing keep responses balanced. So I have few tips for all of you. I'll be sharing you in the next few minutes. And you need to have a resilient, a CA who sees pressure as a solvable case study rather than a crisis, maintains psychological stability. How do you tell yourself? Most of the time, what happens is we do not look at the situation as a case study. We get into a panic mode uh, during the season and all, right? And that is where you need to balance your mind. Resilient mindset, a person who has a resilient mindset will just sit back, see like an outsider, like a third party, and try to understand what could be the possible solution, what could go wrong, and how do I solve it, rather than getting into the panic stage. Coming to the psychological balance in practice, why have mental strength and emotional balance so important in life? It is very, very important that your brain and your heart go in sync with each other. Let's see. Emotional balance, when I say mind emotional balance, emotion, that is deep breathing, is one of the wonderful techniques. It is also called, if you know, hope all of you are aware of this box breathing. It is very helpful once in an hour. If you even for 2 minutes or for 1 minute also, if you do, it regulates your breath and the anxiety goes down, and stress also gets balanced. So for this emotional regulation, you need to work on these kind of deep breathing techniques. Coming to being mindfulness, that is being in the present. Understand what is happening in the scenario. Don't dig into your past or go into the future, but being mindful in the present. And reframing, trying to frame things in a different style. This is very much needed for an emotional mind and emotional balance. And coming to resilient mindset, yeah, view pressure as a solvable case study instead of crisis, like I told you. And coming to decision confidence, analytical preparation, when we've been talking so much about analytical preparation, right? It builds trust in your own judgment. For example, before client meetings, if you review the facts, what are the potential questions they might ask you, if you are much more confident and you enter the meeting more confidently and peacefully, right? So a little homework before is very much essential. And 2 to 3 minutes of that guided deep breathing or mindfulness break, if you take now, nothing like it. You see, over a period of time, every day you have got 24 hours. Out of them, if you're working for 14 hours or 11 hours, I think at least 8 times to 10 times, 8 hours working hours, at least you can work on every 1 hour, 2 minutes. You can, can't you take a break? You can definitely, right? Just sit back, relax. Deep breathing, box breathing, I was telling you, right? When it comes to box breathing, there is something where you inhale for 4 seconds, hold the breath there for 4 seconds, and again, while exhaling, again count 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 seconds, and again hold your breath there for 4 seconds, and then exhale. Okay, inhale 4 seconds, take 4 seconds to inhale, 4 seconds hold it, 4 seconds to exhale, and 4 seconds again to hold it, and 4 seconds again to inhale. So this is called box breathing. And from 4 to 6 to 7 seconds, if you keep moving on, if you do it for a minute or two, it's very easy that you can do it. That gives you lot of uh, you know uh, uh, support. And just a friendly reminder once again, uh, that's about the seed. Today, I want you to take the best seeds from the place. I don't want each one of you to sleep because I know it is not very interactive today, as it is a webinar. I don't want all of you to sleep. Okay, now coming to the most interesting topic you will all enjoy, and something that's new to you is what I feel. You have been doing all your life audits, right? But what audit have you done your life audit? Have you really done? On which factors have you done your life audit? Let's see. My goal for you today is to provide actionable tools participants can use immediately. I want you to immediately use your life these tools and work on it over a period of time. So here the most interesting topic is about your life audit. But before that, I would like to share a story with you. The story of a cracked vessel. There was once upon a time, there was a king, and he had a very good, beautiful, golden big pot, where all his followers would get water and fill the golden, you know, pot with water. One fine, it's been happening for years and all, but one fine day, the pot, he started observing that even if all the villagers would come and fill the pot was never full. He wondered what could have gone wrong. Then he called his advisor, auditor, who came and audited it and then realized that the pot had a crack. So it was leaking. So long before they could realize that there is a crack and leaking. So what do you understand? Understand the story of a cracked vessel. Even we need to audit every time we take things for granted. We think we are perfect. We think we are accurate. We are good, and somewhere we tend to lose a few concepts, or we tend to uh, tend not to see the cracks in our lives. So, a life audit, when action holding a mirror for your inner self. We, just like chartered account conduct financial audits, you all do financial audits, right? You uncover gaps, leakages, what is the risk in accounts, same way, if you can audit your life, what are the blind spots that you ignore? What are the habits that are draining you? What is the food habit, or it could be any kind of habit? It could be your food, smoking, drinking, whatever it is that is messing your life, or what kind of opportunities you're missing over a period of time with your kind of communication that you're rolling in. It makes you pause and reflect in areas you usually avoid thinking about. It could be your health, it could be your relationships, be it your self discipline, purpose, and mindset. Sridhar sir, at the start of session, he did say that the young generation have learned to go with some kind of good balance about their lives. But how about our seniors, the ones who are from 30 to 50 and 60 and above? All these, you know, CAs, what are we doing? What are you doing? Are you into the perfect zone? Of have you really audited your life? Is it only the financial aspects you're auditing for your future, securing the future of your children, and having a good house, car, establishments? Is it just that, or is it something more that we need to understand so that we can have a better life in future? So these are the blind spots. There are many blind spots that we tend to generally ignore. Some of the habits that silently drain us, where we don't even you know acknowledge at times. We are not ready to even reflect on it. We don't have time to reflect on audit our own self. It makes you pause and reflect in areas, thinking about your health. So I want each one of you today, now this is the time where I want each one of you to pay complete attention and reflect. Sit back, have a cup of coffee, sit back and reflect on what I am saying slowly. Reflect on things, and if you can reflect in the right sense, this will definitely help you, and you will leave the session with a new thought process. So why it deeply affects, what is this life audit? Let's see. It forces you to come out of your uncomfortable zone. Okay, and there are areas where you have not looked up over a period of time, and now you'll come to know where the gray areas are. Sometimes we procrastinate things. We are stressful for unnecessary things which is not much needed. We have unhealthy routines. Partying. It could be partying. It could be having unhealthy junk food, untimely food, untimely calls, untimely social media usage, Instagram. All these things we need to really audit on what's happening in our life. So generally, what is an audit? You are all, I'm trying to come up with your terminology than the regular generic terms. I'm trying to come up with terminologies where you will be able to relate very well. So here, an audit means you initially, in general audit as CAs, you do identify standards, right? You identify what are the standards to be done for that audit. You collect the data, then you compare the standards, then plan and implement. You see if it's right, wrong, and you try to see the changes, and then you monitor it, and then re-audit it also. Whether it went right or wrong, also you'll check, right? So the cycle goes on. I want you to apply the same cycle to your life. So there are different audits where you need to work on, be it your stress. You can audit your stress, you can audit your food, you can audit your time. There are many things. So you can identify the standards for it, collect the data, understand where it is right, compare yourself, where do you stand among 1 to 10 ranking, and the moment you feel that there you need to change, you plan it and you implement it, and then you again work on it, you monitor it, and if you feel that there are changes, you re-audit it. So here is the wonderful areas where you need to life audit. The 12 areas to review for a healthy, stress-free life. So the first and foremost I would like to share is the food audit. When we are talking about this food audit, what kind of nutritional food are you taking? Are you taking any kind of junk food? Is the food nourishing? Do you take, when I'm talking about food, how many liters of water do you all consume? Do you all know that every 20 kilos of your body weight needs 1 liter of water that you need to have in a day? So if you're 60 kilos, you should have 3 liters of water. If you're 80 kilos, you should have around 4 liters of water. And 100, 5. So around 4 to 4.5. So, and how do you have that water as well? Have we ever, did we really focus on, did we audit our drinking pattern at least? Leave alone food. I kept that also as a broader term here. But even the water that you consume, how many glasses of water do you have in a day? And how do you have it? Even that matters. Are you gulping the whole bottle at one go? Even that way, if you drink 4 liters of water, it is of no use, right? The best in the early morning, the moment you wake up, you are just supposed to have a max of half liter of water, right? Warm water preferred, and that cleanses your gut and gives you, the needful energy. So are we doing this? And later, over a period of time, every hour or every 2 hours, you are supposed to have a 200 ml of max of 200 ml of water. That too, you have to sip your water. They say chew your water. You know, if you see Madhavan, actor Madhavan, you must all know, na. So he says you chew your water. So slowly sip your water, and that is very important. So are you doing this, or are you just gulping? How many glasses of water have you had? So let's say now let's go with a small activity for 1 minute. I'll ask you just sit back and reflect. 1 minute is your time. I want each one of you to go with your food audit of the last 24 hours. In the last 24 hours, that now the time is 4. So yesterday from 4 p.m. to today 4 p.m. What is that? What kind of food? If you have a pen and paper or in your mobile, I want you to just type it and see what kind of foods did you have. What was the food you had? What was the water? How many liters of water did you consume? In which form? And what kind of food did you have? Was it nutritional? Was it a balanced diet? Was it a junk food? Did it increase your acidity? Did it nourish you? Were there any kind of dry fruits or healthy nuts which are needed for your body? If you're obese, what kind of food did you have? If you have any gastric issues, then what kind of food did you consume? All this, the food audit. I want you all to reflect in the next 1 minute and understand what is that you have had. and how is it going to help you in your future? Does this food audit have any impact on your work? Please reflect. Yes, the food that you consume has a direct impact on your brain, on your stress levels also. There are people who eat when they are extremely stressed. So is what is causing you to have abnormal amounts of sweet or food? That is called a food audit. If you, what kind of, are you interested? What is that vitamin or the deficiency in you that is causing you to have that food in huge quantities, abnormal quantities? Is it the magnesium in your body going down? Is it the iron deficiency that is making you crave for some sweet, or magnesium? If you have a deficiency in magnesium, that one has a craving for sweets. So we need to understand these aspects. Okay, what food did I take, and why am I insisting on this word called food? Let me tell you, everything has a direct impact on your career and your lifespan too, because the food that you take, the odd timings, all this, my generally food habits are one of the crucial habits which lead to different health issues, and it is directly reflective. Women, what kind of food do they consume? Iron rich foods are they having or not? All this will lead, deficiencies in the body, that will lead to more stress. you know that is when we are not in a happy zone to work also. The stress or the irritation in the bowels or in the gut might make us perform, or you know uh, be the best. We might come down. Just one simple example. uh, when we have a headache, do you think we can give our 100% at that minute of time? No. Having an acute headache because of some gastric issue, a headache crops in, do you think you will be able to give your best and think the best at that point of time? No. So that is one good example to say that food or the nutritional balance or the junk food that you do. So you need to sit and reflect and work towards it as well. Next comes sleep. We are talking about sleep. How many of you sleep between 10 to 6 or 10 to 5? Do you have minimum of 7 hours of sleep? This is very, very important. And which hours do you sleep? 10 to 2 is the most important time where people have to sleep. Nowadays, heart attacks are one of the major reasons of heart attacks is the sleep pattern. So I want you all to audit your sleep patterns, work on your sleep pattern. And as per the research, I've spoken to lots of doctors, and the research also says that sleeping between 10 to 2 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is the best hour minimum. That is that those hours cannot be compromised with any of the daytime hours of sleeping 8 hours. In the daytime, if you sleep from morning 8 till evening 8 also, that will not be equal to your night 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So you need to ensure that your sleep, because your body has a clock and it works as per the clock. We cannot define it that you be this because and so on. So there's no such things. But having all this has a long term impact on your health. Your food audit, I want you to work on your food audit. Then definitely the sleep audit, very much important, because the sleep quality and duration, are you getting enough restful sleep? And that too during the peak hours where the body is regenerating itself. That is the time 10 to 2 where the body repairs itself. And if that time you're awake, if that time you're consuming food, if that time you're you know consuming alcohol or something, then how are you expecting a great health in the future? So all these things matter. So your food audit matters. Next comes your sleep audit. So please work on your sleep patterns. Try to change your, if you are not into it till date, at least try to the best way is to add half an hour or 1 hour before. if you have a habit of sleeping at 12 o'clock, you can make it at 11 or 11:30. Slowly then move, after 1 week, slowly move to 11, and slowly from 11 move down to 10:30, and from 10:30 to 10, or from 9:30. And that's very, very important. And the next is digital audit. I would like to use this word digital audit when we are saying this digital audit is very important. How many times are how much time are we engaging ourselves on the social media? Especially nowadays, Instagram, the dopamine effect it is giving for all 30 seconds. I think everyone has got into that addiction. Almost everyone, irrespective, daily at least a person watches the social media for Instagram or those reels or whatever. At least for half an hour is the barest minimum that I'm saying, a minimum an hour. But it's very, very dangerous at times. In fact, I have been a victim for this digital audit as well. There were times which I never used. I used to see a lot of clients, when I interact with people, when I interact with students, they most of the time they would engage themselves into the social media. And I also started saying, let me also try and see how are they getting addicted. I wanted to try it. So knowingly, unknowingly, from that 10-minute window, I've gone to that 60-minute window to more than that of watching Instagram reels, scrolling it. It was very easy to, scroll back. It was giving the dopamine of every 30 seconds you have something interesting, creative. But I understood that over a period of time, the best productive hour of my day is gone. I could have used that hour into more productive things in my life. Even sitting silently, just paying attention to my body itself also would have acted as a meditation for me, which would have helped me in a better way than scrolling all those things. So much of information we are dumping into our head. Is it that important? We need to work on. We need to understand the digital audit. Please, I want each one of you to do this digital audit. Reflect on yourself. Try to reduce the screen time, or whatever you know better. Why am I asking you to do all these audits? Actually, today I'm only supposed to talk about stress audit to each one of you. But let me tell you, if we think that stress is just stress, no, beyond stress, there are many more things that have an impact. And these are all the areas which have an impact. So when we are talking about digital audit, this is the way. Coming to stress audit, how do you manage stress and tension? How stressed are you feeling daily? Every week, try to, or every day in the next upcoming 12 days or 1 month, try to every day say that today I'm going to do food audit, tomorrow let me do sleep audit, day after tomorrow let me do stress audit. How is it going in the last 1 day, 3 days, 1 week? Sit and start working on those things and see how your life transforms. Definitely it is going to transform your stress. For few things we unnecessarily take stress. We For example, the client might tell us that he would come at so and so time, or and we expect if they don't come, we get into the stress zone of why this person has not come. We have a lot of engagements, you know there's some kind of tension cropping in. All these things need to be worked out. Stress, you know better than me what kind of stress you have. You are the better judge, I would say. But I want you to audit your stress. Then comes, time audit. Very, very, very important for all of you. See, productivity, not only you, each one of us. This audit, life audit, which I'm sharing with all of you, these 12 areas are important for every being, especially the professional front, where we are all tied up with lots of responsibilities. At the work front, home front, we need to definitely audit our time, how productive each one of us have got 24 hours, right? How are we using these 24 hours? Are they productive, non-productive hours, productive hours, important, unimportant, but immediate attention needed? You need to work on those aspects. And are you using your time wisely? Ask a question to yourself. Coming to time audit, do have you set the right time for the things? Do you have a schedule? a weekly planner, daily planner. This sounds very funny for all the elderly people or people, the young lot might even think of attempting it. But if you ask a 40-year-old to do all this, they'll look me from top to bottom. That's what I understand. Isn't it so? But uh, let me tell you, my friend, time audit, every audit that you are doing is not for me or for fun, it is for you. Your audit is for your life to make it a better life. Okay. So if you work on it, you'll benefit. And next comes the mindset audit. Attitude. What kind of attitude are we carrying? Are we positive in mindset, or do we, uh, what is a mindset? Is it a growth mindset, or what kind of mindset do we carry? Are we looking for growth? Then what are the steps we are taking? Or no, a fixed mindset is also said. That means we have got very fixed opinions. When we talk about mindset, there are two types of mindset: fixed mindset and growth mindset. If a fixed mindset is a person who has already set down benchmarks, rules for his own life, what he thinks are his own benchmarks, and he or she is not ready to change those things. So such people having fixed mindset, it is very challenging or difficult for them to uh, you know go into a better zone or be the best version of themselves. They're restricting their best version somewhere. So a person with growth mindset is willing to learn something, willing to let go, learn, unlearn also, okay, and relearn also. So this kind of mindset, if a person has, generally what happens, especially CAs, sorry, with all due respect, I would say, you're so accurate, you're known for your accuracy and all. So at times I find that in the CA fraternity, the kind of people I've met and all, they're at times I find they do have these fixed mindsets in few scenarios. So that fixed mindset, if they can come out of the fixed mindset, then nothing like it, that they have the potential is much more than what uh, they can even imagine. So uh, having an audit of fixed mindset, so you need to sit down, jot down, in which area did I have a fixed mindset, where can I tweak it, where can I think a little differently about it. That's very important. Then you have this health and fitness audit. Yes, you definitely need to know that you need to exercise every day, strengthen, vitality. Yeah. Are you in good shape? The moment you're in good shape, the moment you're hale and healthy, the moment your weight, card says the right weight, you are more confident, more happier CA, more joyful CA, more happening CA, I should say. No, so that fitness, if you can work on yourself, there's nothing like it. You need to audit what is that you have done till date, that maybe I'm sure anyone above 40s or 50s would have a small belly around. And if is there anything that can be done towards it? Is there anything that, are you as fit as you were when you were 20 or 25? So you need to reflect on these aspects as well. And next comes the relationship audit. Yes, very, very important is the relationship audit. How are you dealing with your family members, your children, your spouse, your colleagues, everything, your loved ones? How is your connection with them? Do you throw your frustration on them? Do you throw your anger on them during the peak seasons? Rest of the times you're good, maybe, but during the peak season, are you stressed out? Do you shout on them? Do you criticize them? So, if you're doing any such things, I want you to please reflect during the same season where you had all the stress, acute stress at that time. What was your behavior with the relationships that surround you? It could be your parents, your spouse, your friend, your colleague, anyone for that matter, or even the one who are helping you, the supporting staff in your office, or anyone. How is your relationship with them? How is your response to them? How do you manage with them? How do you take out time for them, especially your family? Do you take out time for your family? Do you smile with them? Do you joke with them? it is essential that make your life more happy. Okay, so this is one area where you definitely need to pay attention to. Relationship audit. If relations are good, you're a very happy soul and you give the best in your work environment also. If, just imagine, I think all of you can resonate with me, especially with relationships that we have. When things don't work well at the home front with the spouse, maybe that day we had an argument with our spouse or something like that. Do you think with the same happy note, cheerful zone, happy zone, you'll walk down to your workplace? You don't show any kind of frustration there, or some kind of no frown face, no cheerful smile, and people keep coming and wondering what happened to us. So why are we carrying all those things? So our relationships definitely matter. The person, the loved ones in your life, if you have a very good relationship with them, I think that will also reflect in your work front. You do your work more efficiently. So ensure that your relationship audit, what you're doing, you work on that as well. Then comes your financial audit, but here I don't want to say anything about this financial audit to all of you. You are the best judge here. You know, because you all deal with numbers each and every single day. There's nothing that I can teach you here or ask you to even reflect. You know very well the budgeting, saving, spending, but definitely you can also audit with about your family. What is being spent? How much is being spent? Where is it being spent? On what unnecessary things being spent? Maybe that way you can work on your financial audit also. How much is being spent monthly? What is, what kind of junk food you're having? Even in that, what is that you are saving? What is, are you traveling for your financial trip, vacation? So all these things you can sit and reflect, and maybe you can still work on something like that. And yeah, we have done with all these audits. And yes, values and purpose audit, career and growth audit, and learning and knowledge audit. Even apart from all these audits, when we are talking about career and growth audit, yes, definitely evaluate your professional progress. The skills, the upgrades, what are the certifications you're doing, what future goals do you have. At times what happens, once you're a CA, don't take me wrong, but at times I see the young generation, whomever I meet, some of my students, they think that's a destination point. No, life is full, it's a journey. Becoming a CA is just one. They have crossed one step and now there's a long way ahead. All the CAs would, agree with me with this. Just being a CA is one task, that one goal you have achieved, but apart from that, from there you have a long way to go, isn't it? So you need to work on your career and growth audit as well. It is very important that skill upgrading is essential irrespective of age and cadre or growth. Anyone for that matter, you should believe that for your professional progress there should be skill enhancement. You should be doing a few certification. No, learn something more, not necessary. See, you might have your own interest. it don't, I'm not trying to tell you to limit yourself to the CA wing or chartered accountancy wing, but you can definitely go beyond this. Some certification in AI might also help you in your work. Some certification where you're extremely passionate about may also help you work, and it can help you in your future goals. You can have a second income as well, something which you're very passionate. Maybe there's some artist who is very good at drawing, or there is someone who can really do some. I know some of my students who are very good classical dancers, and also they have they have divided their life into things. They are also CAs, they also dance, they are also CAs, they also have different certifications, they have different goals for their life. So these kind of career and growth audit is also equally essential, you need to work on. Next comes learning and knowledge audit. Reflect on your continuous learning habits. Reading, courses, seminars through leadership, all this is very, very, very essential. I'm talking about habits of reading. Nowadays, if you go to ChatGPT or anything for that matter, reading it's one of the best things you can ever do to yourself. And it is said that the top 1%, uh, the best people in the world, the top 1% most successful entrepreneurs and all, read at least 50 books in a year. Yes, that means every week 52 books or more than that. So every week they ensure that they complete one book of at least, see, we can start off with 200 pages book and later, but if not 30, if not 50 books, are we reading at least 25 books? Self-help, some motivational, some biographies or whatever. So this is very important that you don't restrict yourself to the CA zone or to the zone where you are working, but beyond that, enhancing your knowledge or wisdom is very, very important. We change a lot. Life never remains the same. So learning and knowledge audit also we need to work on. Reading what kind of courses. Age has there are no limitations for doing any kind of courses and doing sitting for seminars as well and about leadership. We can enhance on ourselves by continuous learning habit. So every day, I would like to understand if you have audited your life about your learning and knowledge audit, have you, kept a fixed time for it? That you're going to read every day at least 20 pages, 10 pages in a day. It's not newspaper, it's beyond newspaper, any self-help book or any spiritual book or any friction, non-friction book. What is that you're looking at? So this habit will give you lots of reading such kind of self-help books, especially those non-fictional ones, gives an edge over our thought process. I should say that it is very, very helpful. Reading and doing different courses, yeah, definitely you will be better knowledgeable than the others. And last but not the least, the values and purpose audit. Please check if your work aligns with your ethics, values, and long term purpose. So, especially in your sector, you get a lot of scope of being unethical also. People will tend to lure you with money or for other aspects in some of the scenarios there, because that is one of the crucial thing as a CA. Ethics is something where I need to tell you, you know better than me, and values are something where you have to stick up to yourself to be a successful CA. And for long term, are you happy taking that decision? Are you really proud of yourself and are you able to share that with each and everyone? Work on it. So please, when you're doing your life audit, all these audits are extremely important. Food audit, these were the seeds which I was trying to tell you that they are very, very helpful for you. If you start, I don't mind sharing this. If you can all take a screenshot of this will be extremely helpful. I want all of you to take a screenshot of it, take a book, write just these names and or on a piece of paper and stick it on your board. And at least once in a while, think of your food audit. Maybe you will change something. Having a milk tea or having a black tea, having a green tea matters. Okay. So a sleep audit, 1 hour early to bed. Maybe you'll wake up more freshly. Stress audit, sometimes let go of simple things and don't keep holding on those things. That might make you a much happier person. Time audit. If you have jotted out time, what is to be done at which hour of maybe if you cannot cope up all the 24 hours as planned, at least 70%, 60%, are you reaching to that? If the way you have planned your day or schedule, are you exactly working as per it? Or at least 70% if you're achieving, you're extremely successful. Got it? Same with your digital audit, screen time. How much time are you checking? How much are you on the social media? What are your digital habits? How much time do you spend on LinkedIn? How much time do you spend on Insta? How much time do you spend on Facebook or on the Reels? Just work on your digital. How much time do you watch Netflix? Yes. Sorry, yeah. People have this habit of watching movie every night before they go to bed, right? So there is something where you need to work on. Maybe if you get better sleep, the ones who are using digital mode, I mean the screen time, if we before 1 hour before we go to bed, we are supposed to wind off our screen 1 hour before we go to bed. Are we doing that? If I say screen doesn't mean it's just the phone, even the big screen as well. So you need to work on all those things. So all these things, if you just sit back and reflect, nothing like it that life changes. So here are a handful of seeds, and I want all of you to reflect here and tell me which seeds are you ready to nurture? Which seed are you ready to nurture? Are you ready to nurture the food audit seed, the sleep audit, stress audit seed, the time audit seed, the digital audit, financial audit, relationship? Very, very important, I think. And there's nothing which is not important here, isn't it? So I want each one of you to carry all these things and work on yourself. Next comes this practical pathways for CAs. Today, my goal for you is providing actionable tools participants can use immediately. Apart from all the life audits that I've shared, stress audit, and all those things, we have something called cognitive reframing, work-life boundaries, and recovery rituals. I'll share some of them. See, cognitive reframing. What is cognitive means nothing but thinking. Okay. Uh, how is our mind thinking? How can we reframe the dialogue that is going in our head? Sometimes the deadline it is crushing me. I will say, right? It's breaking my head. I am ready to give up. Enough. I want to lose this client. Sometimes the client not tests our patience. I know that not every client is one and the same. Their psychology is different. Their upbringing, they have their own traumas, which or they think superior to us, and they talk in such a way it hurts. Uh, you know, this is a high priority task that requires focus and scheduling. So you need to understand their psychology and understand yourself and reframe the whole scenario in a different way. Then things will be better. The moment you keep yourself in the other person's shoe, and acceptance at times will give you much more peace than you ever expect. And coming to work life boundaries, yes, apply the analytical skills to design realistic work schedules that account for your family, exercise, and rest. So, work life boundaries you definitely need to know, right? If we don't have these boundaries, if we carry all our work home and the work at home, if you carry it to the office, you are never at peace. So we need to have somewhere the cutoff line, cutoff time, and ensure for work-life boundaries. Maybe it is high time that you tell your clients that these are your working hours, and you make it a habit very politely and at the same time firmly the boundaries that you want to set. You need not sit at 11:30 or 12. The moment the client pings you doesn't mean that you have to respond to him. You create that culture. It is over a period, and at times with few people it is highly impossible. I understand, but if you want to retain that client, then you will have to now go with cognitive reframing of the thought process of yours. Got it? And next comes this recovery rituals. Using short mindfulness breaks, reflection journals, or even data tracking apps for sleep and mood. This recovery rituals are many things, I should say. You need mindful breaks, you need meditation, some kind of yoga, exercise. All these things will help us recover from the stress that we go through. And coming to cognitive reframing, I'll just give you one technique here. See, let's convert this. The deadline is crushing me into this is a high priority task that requires focused scheduling. See, the statement has entirely changed your thought process, isn't it? The deadline is crushing me if I say this, or how is it? And how is it that this is a high priority task that requires focused scheduling? So let me work on it is a different thought process, and this is giving me headache is a different thought process. So if I frame my thought in this manner, then there's nothing like it. So a cognitive reframing is it's a CBT technique. In our psychology, we have different techniques that we follow for different things. Cognitive behavioral therapy, we say. It is one, a cognitive reframing is a part of the CBT. and we have REBT, CBT, we call DBT. DBT therapy, we do it for people who get into this suicidal zone, who have those feelings of they're in extreme depressions. For them, we use DBT. CBT is for people where we can help them with their change of thought process. Like I said, cognitive reframing is a part of CBT strategy that we use. So there are different tips because it's a very lengthy subject, cannot be covered. I'm just giving you a fair idea of one of the most important things which you can do by yourself. So just like spotting errors in financial statements, you can spot errors in your thinking. Be very genuine when you do it. Don't tell yourself I'm great, I'm perfect, I'm this. Rather try to reflect on things where you're going wrong. Spot the errors, like the way you do it for financial statements. Spot the errors in your thinking pattern also. At times we have preconceived notions, we are judgmental with people, we already frame one kind of uh, statement about few people. We don't like them, their appearance, their statement, or probably they could have hurt us with their rude talk or something. So our reaction before the other person behaves the same way, we tend to have fixed opinions upon them, and we behave in such a way that is entirely not us. So we need to work on those aspects. Are we really balanced in our thinking patterns? We need to work on this. Okay. If I fail this client pitch, my career is over. Can we reframe this statement? The young CAs might feel like this. If I fail this client, if I'm unable to, why the client left me? Why is it? So am I not really good? This kind of questions you need not have. Rather, you can say, this one pitch, let this client go. It doesn't define my career. I can learn and improve. But definitely, you need to reflect here why or what could be the reason the client could have left. You need to reframe your cognitive thinking there. Don't go with only one style of thinking that, yes, he was bad or he was rude or this something, whatever the scenario you could have been facing, that you can just think that, and you might let go of it peacefully, with peace, no stress over that you have lost a client. Rather, you can tell yourself that, let me learn and improve from here. What is the learning I have from this scenario? Keep a thoughtful journal if possible. Definitely, that is the best thing you can do. A journal or a notebook or something, write down your stressful thoughts, check for the distortions, reframe with the evidence. Now you are the best judge for yourself. You don't need anyone else to come and tell you what to. If you sit and start reflecting, there's nothing like it. Next technique is the REBT ABCD model, which I want you. This is again, cognitive reframing is also apart from the life audits that I've told you. They are all those seeds. This is another seed of cognitive reframing that you need to work on yourself. And next comes this REBT ABCD model. When I'm talking about this REBT ABCD model, rational emotive behavior therapy, we call it, by Albert Ellis, is used as ABCD model. It explains how our beliefs, not even, cause emotional reactions. At times, we react to situations. We do not, and we react based on our belief system. Okay, and the consequences are entirely different, and there is dissipation. So this is called the REBT, rational emotive behavioral therapy. This is a therapy where one can help oneself, and it is a simple therapy for uh, cognitive thought process to be changed, for reframing and all these things. This is equally helpful, where you actually sit back and reflect on things of your belief system. What is your belief? What is the event? What is making you come up with this emotional reaction? Okay. So when I'm saying A, activating event, client's criticism. Let's take some example here. A client has criticized you. Okay. That is the activating. Here, let's take an example where a client is criticizing. It is a situation, an event which is triggering us like that. Okay. So the trigger, we call it the activating event. B is the belief system. Here, it could be like I must be perfect. What do you think or believe about the event? This can be rational or irrational. So every time we have some belief system. There are belief systems. We feel that. When it comes to belief system, uh, we believe that person above 40 years he should speak like this, or a person should be well dressed while coming to the office, or we have few belief system. If someone is not uh, syncing with our belief system, we tend to be rational or irrational with our behavior. Okay, so that is one thing. Then comes consequence, stress and anxiety, because of the activating event and because of the belief system that we hold in our brain. What is the consequence that is going to come up surface? Your emotional behavioral reaction, how do you feel and act about it? So that is your stress or consequence. Okay, and then comes the disputation. Is perfection realistic? Can mistakes be learning? Challenging the irrational belief, replacing with a rational balanced thought causes emotional reaction. So this is very important. That is why we call it as ABCD. Practice with small events. You don't think big on big things. Also, you can even a traffic delay. Let's say traffic is getting delayed. Let's go, in Hyderabad, Bombay, or Delhi, or anywhere. All these big cities, you see that there's so much of traffic. We have to stand in the traffic, or get held up in the traffic for hours together. Those delays, how are we taking the event? Are we getting irritated and keep cursing the other person, and how are we taking that event? Are we ready to accept it? Are we unnecessary? We know that if we will not reach the destination point in the next 1 hour or 2 hours, if there is such kind of acceptance, then do you think taking the stress and being anxious, being irritated for the next 1 hour until we reach the destination is needed? Or rather, the moment when we accept it, and it has broken the belief system that we can reach the destination by so and so time. And if that belief system can, if there is acceptance here, then there's so much you can work on yourself. You are so much in peace. You can enjoy the music in the next 1 hour that's on the radio, or something like that. Okay, so here you need REBT is an ABC model where this will help you for your self reflections. What happened? First, A, activating agent is what happened. B, the belief system. What did I tell myself regarding that? That is B. And C, how did I feel or act? What did I tell myself? How am I reacting? Is the C. And D is, can I change this belief system? The better way to see it. Okay. So this is, I would not say that you can learn this concept a day, but this is one strategy where you can do self help for yourself to analyze things in your life, like how it works. Example, let's take an example, client rejection. Client rejection, a client rejected my proposal. Okay. When a client rejects your proposal, do you think you're very bad? Huh? Do you think I'm not good at my job? I'll never get such good clients and all? That is your belief system. What is the event here? Client rejecting your proposal is the event. Okay. Belief system is, I am not good at my job, I never get clients is the belief system. Coming to the consequence, what is the consequence? Because you have this belief system in your brain, you now are anxious, you lose confidence, you avoid future pitches with confidence. Okay, you lose your confidence, and you're more anxious, and it is seen on your face. And so this is the consequence you get based on your belief system. And what is the disputation here? That means trying to reframe it. One client's rejection doesn't mean that I'm incompetent. It's just a feedback. Let me refine my pitch next time and succeed with the others. Got it? So this way, if you think, so change the thought process. So ABCD model helps really grateful, very helpful when you start reflecting things or making a note of it in this manner. If you have any kind of incident that happened, write the event. It could be your belief. Then write the belief system that you are holding, even with your relationships also, even with the people in and around you. What is it? Maybe you had a quarrel with your spouse. Okay, on which scenario did that even take? What belief system made you to shout on your spouse? Okay, and what are the consequences? How is your spouse reacting? How is your reaction towards it? What you lost the peace of the house? That is a consequence. Disputation, telling yourself that this behavior is not right, shouting will not work, rather sitting with each other and trying to have a conversation one to one, understanding the pain of the spouse of what she really wanted to convey with peace of mind would be the disputation. That okay, this time it has happened, next time let me not shout on it, rather let me sit and check with her, take that 1 minute or 2 minutes of time to find out what really went wrong, and with patience, maybe this way you can help yourself with the ABCD model. Coming to social situation, friends didn't reply to my message. That's an event. They must be angry with me. Nobody likes me. Is the belief system that you have in your brain. Okay. Um, uh, what is the consequence here? We are upset, we feel anxious, we feel rejected. This is all comes as the consequences. Coming to the disputation, what could the disputation be here? Array, my friend could have been busy with some other work. Once she is free, she will message me back. Let's wait. Or let me, after some time, send her once if I find that important. Let me, it is okay because she's my friend. So the situation, your thought process, you will not anymore be anxious, get upset with them, right? So this ABCD model actually helps. Technique three is the stop emotional regulation technique, where when we say stop, STOP. It is an emotional regulating your emotions here. So there are scenarios where we tend to overreact at times. You know, we get upset, especially with our family members. We take them for granted, no? Be it our children or a spouse. Generally, or we generally try to take them for granted. Whom we love most, we tend to get take them granted, and we shout on them or abuse them. And these things happen. And even at workplace, if a person is throwing his frustration or reacting very quickly, that person is not respected, right? So people should know where to stop the emotional regulation. At times we do not like our boss saying something to us, but do you on the face will you say, hey boss, I hate what you're saying, useless thought process? And are you okay to say that? No, it doesn't work. The next day we'll have a pink slip in our paper, right? A pink slip in our hands. So this doesn't work. So we need to understand that we need to control our emotions or regulate our emotions. Rather, the right term would be regulating the emotion. So the term is stop, pause before reacting, take a deep breath, step back from the heat, that environment, just keep yourself away from that. Observe your inner state without judgment. Let me repeat it here. Observe your state of mind without being judgmental. Don't always tell yourself that I am only right, he is wrong. Rather, try to observe. At times, I see my faculty or some of the students and observe, and the clients that walk into me, they think that they are only right all the time. They do not understand that they are only going wrong somewhere. They're not ready to accept it. So they're not ready to sit like a third party person and sit and observe without judging. That becomes a inbuilt quality, judging people. So we need to understand that observation, notice your inner state of without being judgmental, and proceed, respond with values and not impulse. Impulsive decisions are taken place, impulsive answers are given. We cannot take back our words, we cannot take back what is given. Once it comes out of it, it cannot be taken back. So we need to respond with the value system we are having, take time to reflect, and then only speak up. Maybe you will delay in giving the reply for 1 more minute, but you are seeking that 1 minute time to think, emotionally regulate your mind, and then. So that 1 2 minutes is very, very important during critical situations. You stop when emails trigger irritation or deadlines feeling overwhelming. So you might get deadline mails, emails, or that makes you overwhelmed. That moment, tell yourself, stop, let me breathe, let me understand how can I judge this situation, where is that I can work on that will retain my peace, and then proceed. Got it? So stop emotional regulation is also one of a very wonderful technique which is very very helpful. Coming to the work life boundaries, have a time block ledger. Just as you prepare a ledger for working hours, create a personal ledger for yourself. Like I was telling you, auditing, ledger, what are your high focus work? What is your deep analysis, family, personal time, health, health rituals, exercise, sleep. Like I was telling you, the life audit, all the audits. So you can have a personal life audit ledger for yourself, and you can block your time, the kind of work you have, personal time, health, all these things you can plan. A weekly planner will really do. Initially, I thought of coming with a planner and sharing with you, but somehow I felt it wouldn't be appropriate to me giving you an design plan. So you are a better judge in this aspect. So come up with a weekly planner. Have time for your audit. Like I said, audit your time. Give time for your family. Give time for yourself, for your own personal growth. If I have to take the name of Akshay Kumar, yes, actor Akshay Kumar, he says, I really got inspired listening to him at one of his interviews. He says that he wakes up at 4:30, okay, every single day, 4:30, and he sleeps by sharp 9 p.m. How an actor with such busy schedule and with the kind of limelight they have, it is so tempting that they tend to party and all, but still he has made it a habit, and he has not missed a single day in his life without seeing the sunlight. Amazing, isn't it? That is why he is so successful. He says that he has balanced his family time. He says, I need my personal time. 4:30 to 5:30 is my own personal space in the morning where I do not talk to my spouse or my children. And that's my time where I sit and reflect and jot down what is that I can do for myself. So that is a very profound work that he has done to himself, and that is why he's so successful today. So we need to understand that we should have our own personal space and definitely family space too. Just like you have your clients meeting, which is non-negotiable, you just have to meet it. Same thing with your family, right? You have to give time to your family too. That is where the world, your world is not just work. Your world is your family too, right? So whoever family, that doesn't mean it's not talking about only family members, your close friends, someone whom you look up to, someone, your loved ones, all these people. So you need to give space to them. You need to take space for yourself. You need to take space for your clients, and do not mix both of them. And yeah, coming to the recovery rituals, last but not the least, use short mindful breaks. Reflection journals would be very helpful. Every, if you talk to any kind of wellness coaches and anyone, they will ask you to write, keep journaling. That's it. You have to journal. That's what they say. So that's very important. You need to track. There are lots of apps also, I believe, data tracking apps for sleep, for mood, to sustain your psychological balances. Nowadays, lots of apps are there. I personally don't feel to go with apps. I prefer to go putting it on a paper only in my own book. If you see, I have a book of myself, my own. This is where I write my journaling. I keep doing it, and whatever. So that helps me. And 2 to 3 minute stretches, I breaks or mindful breathing between calls are a must. Ensure that to recover, we call it the recovery rituals. As I was telling you earlier, also I told you about deep breathing. You need a recovery, quick rituals, small rituals, and quick rituals. Having a glass of water after every 1 hour or every half an hour, it's a kind of recovery ritual only. Stretching yourself, closing your eyes, blinking your eyes 10 times, or uh, giving a slight massage to your head or something, like everything is stretching yourself. Eye breaks, close your eyes for a minute or two, away from the screen time. Mindful breathing, sitting and taking a 1 minute of breathing exercise. Don't think of 10 minutes of meditation. Don't think of 10 minutes of breathing exercise. Just 1 minute. Start with only 1 minute. Anything that is achievable in 1 minute and 2 minutes, do not let it go. Finish it off. There and then itself. No procrastination. This one thing. Something that can be done in a minute. So whenever you do any activity, if you know that it can be done in a minute or 2 minutes, then please do that work there and then itself. Coming to taking a 2 or 3 minutes out of every hour, you know, you can't you take this 3 4 minutes? It is like sharpening the axe. You all know about it. We want to sharpen the axe, then only you can cut more and more logs. The same way, after every 55 minutes, if you can take that 2 3 minutes for yourself, drink a glass of water, stretch yourself, close your eyes for a minute, and work on your breath, all done in 5 minutes, and you're back to your work more efficiently. Okay, these micro breaks are very important. Don't sit for long hours and long stretchable hours. I know during your season you cannot get up from your seat, but it is essential that even during that uh, crucial hours also, that 1 2 minutes is absolutely fine. It is workable. Okay, coming to journaling, yeah, not one stressful event plus one gratitude point daily. So when you are journaling every day, try to make it a habit of noting down the stressful event and one gratitude thing that you have. If we start talking about gratitude, there will be endless, we cannot stop with one. Yeah, every day is a blessing, isn't it? We should be grateful to that. We should have gratitude towards that. And coming to stressful events, when compared to the things that we can show gratitude, stressful events are much less. But definitely make it a point to write the stressful event, what went wrong, where you can go with cognitive reframing. Earlier, I told you the word cognitive reframing, right? Just try to work on that aspect and see, journaling is one of the recovery rituals you can go with. Then comes the sleep tracking. Aim for 7 hours, like I told you earlier also. 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is most crucial. Ensure that you sleep in the night between 10 to morning 5 or 6. That's the best way. Because your poor sleep patterns is equal to poor decision making. You might think, hey, I'm doing pretty well in my life. I sleep at 11, 12, but still, maybe your potential is much more, 100 times more than what you are achieving at this point of time. Understood? And coming to your decision making, not don't nobody is perfect here. No decision making can we say that all my decision makings are perfect in my life. No, it never happens. We might get it. We never know about it. And it is a long term impact that happens. Mind you, I'm telling you again and again, your sleep tracking once in a week, maybe one day you get delayed, it's fine, absolutely, but not every single day. Not days together that you're sleeping late, you're not aiming for 7 hours of sleep. It is a must for your cognitive ability to enhance. Okay. And set alarms for breaks, use habit trackers, treat recovery as your capital expenditure for health. Okay, set alarms for breaks, set alarms. There are people who are so immersed in work that they don't drink even 1 liter of water in 8 hours. So that's really bad. That's when you're spoiling your health. So please ensure that you have your alarms or something, habit tracker, where you can take care of yourself. And last but not the least, the long term impact. Yes, CAs who combine analytical clarity with emotional resilience are what? They're more composed under deadlines. They're better communicators as they regulate these emotions before responding, and balanced professionals who can sustain high performance without sacrificing their well being. Let's see. Meeting long term. See, what is the long term impact you have? The long term impact is the important when the moment you meet deadlines, it builds trust, okay, in your work or in anything in your personal. You have a deadline for your everything. When you're doing your audit, also for that, also have a deadline. By end of the day, I should do my audit for my food, for my time, for my this thing, or do cognitive reframing. Do audits for yourself. Have a deadline for it. Meet the deadlines. Do it. You feel good about yourself. It will reduce your stress in your work lines. Also, meeting deadlines reduces your stress, right? It increases your efficiency. And yeah, you will obviously, when you meet deadlines, you are more confident, you are more happy soul, isn't it? You need, if I am telling you to do, meet deadlines, then you should have these effective strategies and techniques, and where you need to work on it as well. Okay. So you need to plan you again, as I said, go with your time audit, see what can be done, where you have the decent time to work on it. That way you'll be able to achieve the most importance of meeting deadlines. It helps you in your professionalism, coming to time management, reliability, consequence, stress, nothing like it. And yeah, I have explained you the stop technique, right? To master your emotional regulation, the stop technique is definitely very, very helpful. Once again, I would like to repeat that this is a very helpful REBT technique that I'm sharing with all of you. If you want, you can take a screenshot of this, you know, to stop. That is, stop, take a step back, observe the present moment, and proceed mindfully. This will be extremely helpful for all of you. Just a friendly reminder to each one of you again, today, the time that you have spent, let it be wisely spent time. Okay. Maybe you've not understood everything. Some part of it you could have understood, some here and there. But definitely, the moment you start reflecting, that is it. The moment you sow the seed has been sown today in your brains. I feel that I have sown the seeds in your farm, in your land, okay, in your brain. Now it is you who has to nurture it every day. If you start working on it, nurturing it with little water, sunlight, whatever is needed for that, whatever ambience is needed for the seed to grow in your brain, if you do it, there's nothing like it. And if you're sowing the wrong seed, then it is going to be a weed. Got it? Don't let weeds grow in your field. Let the weeds be removed. I hope you all had the key takeaways. I would be happy if no, you had some takeaways from all the stuff that we had. As I told you once again, the true power of a seed is not in the moment it is planted, but the way it is nurtured over time. What we have discussed today, whether it is stress management techniques, reframing perspective, whatever, all these are seeds. Okay, the growth of this seed depends on what your practice, your sunlight is the consistency, and care with self reflection. Right? Thank you so much. And that's all about me and about the session. And over to you, Aarti ma'am. Thank you so much for all the time and patiently listening to my session.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for the insightful session. So it really, when you speak, it reflects the authority and experience that you have over the topic. And I also very much want to thank the Promoting Work-Life Committee of the ICAI under the chairmanship of Jay Chera sir and Vice Chairman Sridhar Palla sir, and also the Secretary Priyamvada Girdhar for organizing such a wonderful session. Right. So, ma'am, all what you said, like, I really very much like the concept where you said that, sowing a seed, and then it's not only the moment when you plant the seed, but also how you nurture it over a period of time. And also when you talked about the life audit, that, these are the 12 aspects of your life. And not that you check all the 12 aspects in one go, but even if you take one at a time and you audit it and you realign it, that would be so beneficial. Again, one more thing which struck me very much is that whatever situation comes in life, it's not necessary to look at it as a crisis. You can look at it as like a case study. Because like as CAs, when in our student days, we would have done so many of the problems and difficult questions over there. So it's just a case study. So, it's just that particular case study which is to be tackled. And then also you mentioned regarding the stop technique and the ABCD over there. So that is something like really, like it can be such an effective technique that if some situation arises, I was just trying to incorporate it. Okay, so first you stop, then you take a breath, then after that you observe, okay, what is happening, and then accordingly you decide to respond. So it's like, ma'am, in such a very, what do you say, packaged manner, you have provided us a solution to tackle the day-to-day situations and challenges of life in the professional practice. And as an ending remark, ma'am, the way you curated or customized everything with the experience of chartered accountant, the balance sheet and the client and GST and all the terms you used, it very clearly shows that you are quite a lot surrounded by chartered accountants around you. Yes.
Thank you so much, and I would like to thank Work Life Balance team and you, Aarti ma'am, and all the organizers here, Priyambada ma'am, and everyone, Jay sir and Sridhar sir as well, for the wonderful opportunity given to me. And hope these 2 hours have made some a little sense to the CAs. They have taken out the schedule out of the busy schedule. They have taken out 2 good hours. Definitely I feel that I should give back to them in some form or the other. So hope you continue to nurture the seeds.
Nurture the seed. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. And not turning it into weed. Even the way you said it, it was very nice. Right. So I hope the audiences have had a great learning experience and you also have been provided a feedback form. So you can just fill in the details into that. Right. So that's the end of the seminar, ma'am. Thank you so much.